Hi everyone and welcome back. Look how nice the Escargo's sounding. I just fully charged the battery just to make sure it was good. It was good anyway, but I just boosted it. Today's task, I've got a new tyre coming for this. My aim is to get that changed over today, so I'll put this on the jack. I'll take that, get it changed, bring it back, put it straight back on. The owner of the Piaggio, the old owner, is coming back for the Piaggio. I know it was a very confusing story, this one. Ultimately, I bought the bike, just bought it from someone who watches the channel, and ultimately I didn't realise how much he loved it. He bought it brand new from the shop and he loves it. So when he saw the videos of me breaking the engine down and realising that there was a fix in sight, he said, can I have it back? Which is great, really. So it's gone from being a sale bike, which is a shame, let's be honest, there was a few £100 sitting in that, to a charity bike, which is what the channel is great for. So I'm pleased, I'm very pleased, very happy for him to take it back. That gives me a few pounds to buy another project. Today I've got one in mind that I'm going to try and secure. But my other task for today, smoky on startup. I think it's a choke issue. It normally goes away when you mess. Apparently the choke is attached to the accelerator, and you floor the accelerator before you start it, and that engages the choke, apparently. But the choke is also a part of the carb system, it's not a separate one. So it's hard to tell really whether the choke is working on this or not. It takes a long time to settle down, but it does when you play with the revs once it's warm, and it takes a long time for the smoke to settle down on startup. So possibly choke's on and it's running quite rich for longer than it needs to. Today's task is carb rebuild for the Honda cb200. Now I was looking it up online because like everyone else, I am not perfect, and there's certain things to look out for on this carb rebuild. One is that you knew you had a good rebuild set if the this part here had the T on it for setting up your idle, and it doesn't. So bad start to this set, although I think it will probably be okay. And then secondly, what some of the other things do, that's the intake washer that goes on top of the slide for the needle. There's a fresh needle in here, it should be on the medium clip. And then we've got all the jetting and the gaskets. So actually the bike should have its best chance at running in this format, really, which is good. So I am going to do the carbs. I'm just going to do them on the bench, and then I'm going to have to work out how to set the floats so that they're at least even on both sides. My hope is that they're not too far out, and I just need to tweak the tab on one to even them out. There is kind of bench checks you can do to see how even they are by tipping it on its side, letting the float rest and seeing where its resting point is. You can measure that, and then you need to measure if any is letting out more than the other side. So it's all a bit complex, but I want to get it as close as I can to give that bike a chance. If that bike at any point becomes a runner, then it's probably going to be out the door, if I'm being honest. I've probably got no choice about that. So apologies, long intro. I am busy today. I've got a lot on between a car, a moped and a cb200, but this is the reality. I want to show you guys something, and this is about my honesty when it comes to my kind of lack of knowledge. Okay, so when I'm doing things with the more modern engines now, I'm not too bad. And when I say modern, I'm talking kind of 90s onwards, really. But these carbs have slides that go in the top, of course. Now, I was watching a rebuild on these last night. I mean, in my head before watching that rebuild, it's a rebuild. Why do I need to watch a rebuild? So in my head, I was quite cocky about it. And then I watched this rebuild, and he said something really interesting, okay? Right, let's start with some basics here. First of all, one of these lines from the throttle is slightly longer than the other one, okay? So that line should come over the top of the bike. It actually comes up here and down here to the carb, okay? It comes over the top. So it's slightly longer. Secondly, these slides are tapered. They only go in one way. So now I know this slide was on this side, so it was on the right. And I don't know how well you can see it, right? But this end is lower than this end. So I had the short side to the intake. And then on the other side, let me see if it's still hanging. It's still hanging. Actually, it's gone loose, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, so ultimately they could have been in, not correct. Although saying that, the adjusters here, no, yeah, so it could have only been, no, yes, they could have both been incorrect, because this could have needed to have been that way and on the other side. So there's a risk that they weren't correct anyway. So I need to really look into that when I put them back in. I'm taking them off now anyway to put new needles in. So when I put them back on, I need to get it correct. Is it the short side to the airflow, the airbox, or is it the deeper side? And then of course I'm going to rebuild all this now in the carb anyway. I've got the floats here. I'm going to double check the floats, make sure they're okay. They're kind of the old tin floats. There's one there, look. And then I'll visually check the spacing. That one's quite far at the top, so that would have been shutting off quite late in a way. Here's the second one, and that one's a bit more pinged out actually. So I need to kind of work out getting them a bit closer. So a lot of this stuff is me kind of learning how to do fine tuning. A lot of modern bikes, they're not as complex as that. This has got me curious though. Have I had running issues because I've set it up wrongly in two ways? One, I haven't used the longer cable on this side, and two, have I had my slides in completely the wrong way round? So owner of the Piaggio has been bike's still here because he's gone to taxi and stuff, but I'm so pleased, honestly. Meeting lovely people and seeing how much they value channels like mine, and people like me in a way. When you help them out like this, is huge. It's worth more than anything else. So I'm very pleased. He's very happy to have his bike back, so I'm glad. Look here, so we've got new needles in, we've put the clips in, and we've put new, I don't know what these bushings are for, these rubbers, but they're on there, they came in the kit anyway. So next we've got all the jets and the seating for the fuel flow, and an O-ring for the carb. Now, I don't know if it's the same size as this O-ring, but these look more perish to me than the other ones. So if it's the same size, I'm going to put it on this side. If not, I am going to need to get some of these at some point, because they're sitting, they're lower than the surface, which means they're not likely to seal properly. So I know now that these floats are shutting off at the same time on both sides, so they're synced. Everything else is done as it should be, changed, swapped, and the floats are synced. Cool. These gadgets, these measuring gauges are brilliant. Annoyingly, this battery's just died, but you can still use it as a ruler. I'll go and get a new battery in a minute. I've got a bunch at home. And it's this pointer bit at the end that's most helpful. Look, I'll show you. Look, that bit there. I just measured the floats with the carb on its side, and how high was the top of the float compared to the mating surface for the gasket. That's what it says online, that's what it says in the book, and that's what I did. So just to catch you guys up, I've got the the carb set up. Now this one, the routing of this cable doesn't quite fit over here. Now I think I've made a mistake by going up and under here. I should come around. So I can see what's happened there. I think I might just bring it down and through for now, just for testing purposes though. But the rest of it is set up correctly. If I've got some fuel in the tank, I should be able to set up a startup, because I mean, I'm sure I charged the battery not that long ago, but also it has a kickstart. The condenser I need to earth, so I need to make the hole bigger here and bolt it down. It goes down onto here, or where else can I bolt it to for now? It just has to be earthed somewhere, but I don't know how strong the earth should be. Maybe I'll throw it on there. Yeah, all earth through the bolt. Alright, I'll do that for now, just to get some consistency with it. So of course it's starting to rain, why wouldn't it? It said no rain actually after 11 today, and now it's raining, at least briefly. Let's see if it will fire up at all. There's some fuel in there. Let's see how it sounds if it does fire up. Let's just see. Let's get some choke on. One and a half out. Now remember, this is not the fuel screw, this is the idle